Then I guess we'll get right into it. You just want to introduce yourself for the people that are listening. Just give me your name and kind of just a background on how you got started in comics and how you got started as an artist and all that as well.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Ozzy Longoria. I'm a comic book artist, a writer, editor. I've been doing comics professionally for 21 years. I started it long before that doing comic books, just like as an amateur, like 25 years ago.
Okay.
I studied under Oscar Gonzalez Loyo, which is a really famous guy in Mexico. Actually here too, he won an Eisner Award for working on The Simpsons. And he's the one who teach me all the tricks, all the how to do the comic books like in a real professional manner. That's how I started it. I was always a self-taught when I was a kid. I used to draw all the time on my notebooks and my books, my walls, everywhere. I always had a pencil with me since I was a kid.
Did you read a lot of comics growing up, or were you just more into the art itself?
Yes, I did. My dad owns a barbershop. So there is always magazines and comic books and dirty magazines too, but but I always had a comic book too. Like my father used to buy Mexican comic books too, like Caliman or Menin Pinguin or Familia Burrón. But also he used to let me buy like Spider-Man, Avengers, all kinds of superheroes. So since a kid, I was exposed to comic books, and I fell in love with them.
So like around what age did you get started with the artwork then? Like or were you just always drawing just since you were a kid, like from the beginning?
I remember someone put a pencil when I was a baby in my hand, and I started drawing, and I never stopped.
That's why I wish I had the art talent, man. Sometimes when I see people do artwork, I'm like, man, I wish I was an artist. I could just do it like that. But
yeah. So
like as far as like when did you decide that you wanted to actually like try to do it and like as something as part of a career or trying to make money off it?
Yeah, well, I always wanted to do. I used to do comic books like fanzines or like mini comic books, and I always tried to do it like when I was in high school, and then I went to college, and that was 92, I think. I was going for communications, studying communications, and when X-Men #1 came out, the Jim Lee and Claremont run, it completely blew my mind, that comic book. And that's when I decided I stopped going to school. that was going.
That's it.
Like I don't want to do that for. Like I don't want. I mean, I used to be really good at like doing radio and all that stuff, but I decided to just follow my dream, like, and I completely stopped. That book changed my life completely.
So you just knew right then. That was like the moment you were like, this is it.
That was the exact moment when I read that. I was like, yes, I want to be an artist, and I want to do it the same way. Obviously, who can do it the same way that does Jim Lee, right? But
right.
But I started looking for information about that. Like I already had an idea, and I used to do it already, but I wanted to do it professionally. So I was watching the TV, and there was my mentor, Oscar Gonzalez, in a TV and an interview, and he was saying that he was going to review portfolios, for at a convention in Mexico City. So I went there and I showed him my stuff, and he actually liked it. And he said, like, well, if you want, I can tutor you. I can be your mentor and your teacher. So yeah, and I said yes, definitely. And I used to go to his house every week for a year and a half. He used to give me those incredible tasks. Like I used to complete a notebook of drawings every weekend.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, it was our crash course, like completely like insane, like never stop drawing. Because he knew I was serious about that, and I told him like I want to be an artist, like I want to do it professionally. And a lot of people, he actually has a school over there, and a lot of people go to his house too. But that's when you know if they're going to be for real artists, because this task, not everybody can do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, and he immediately knows who can do it, who can't. It's like looking in retrospective. Like nowadays, I have a group where I teach them how to do comic books and stuff, and I can see immediately who wants to do it and who wasn't. So it's just like who's playing,
kind of like curious about it and who's really serious about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I guess you say that with the I guess you said you met him at the you said you met him at a convention.
Yeah.
And showed him your work. And I would say because you've been doing this for a while now, how has the landscape kind of changed from as far as if there was for any new artists or people who are trying to figure out try to get work and things like that. Can you explain them what it was like, say early 2000s, late 90s versus what it's like now as far as what you think artists should do as far as trying to get their work out there?
Well, I came a little late into all that the comic book thing because I was studying during the 90s how to do comic books, and I guess my first chance was in 99 or 2000 actually. So the boom of the comic book was in the 90s. So it was still kind of like in the middle, not trying to decide the market where it was. So right. What I used to do, I used to go to the library. At that time, I didn't have a. By the way, I moved to the United States. He invited me. He helped me with all the paperwork. He invited me to come to my first convention was in San Diego, 99, but I decided to do the move here because I knew that I wanted to be in the mecca of comic books, not just from far away. It would have been very difficult. So what I did is I used to just go to the library and send my resume to all the companies. I used to find the websites, their submission pages, and I used to just send them every single day. Send it to different one every single day. I used to get tired of doing that. They used to just they used to tell me, "Hey, please don't send us anymore." Yeah, basically, some of them actually, they used to tell me "Hey, you don't have anything published. So how can we give you a job?" And I said, "Well, why don't you let me do a short story, and then I'll have something published, right?" And it's "Well, no, we cannot pay you for you're a beginner." So, and I said, "Well, I'll do it for free." And well, everybody likes free work, no? I wasn't that bad at that time.
Yeah.
So I did it. I did my first job for free, and then I had something to show to all the companies. I actually bought I think 100 copies of the comic book that I did, and I used to take that to conventions. I used to take that to send them through the mail, all the comic books, and that's how I started getting more work, and that's how I built my portfolio, just by sending my comic books. Basically, the second one they gave me a full. I did 2 or 3 issues, I can't remember, of a series, and with that opened a lot of doors. Just having the printed books, you can show them that you're serious about it, and start getting paid. So he moved from that. Like obviously they used to pay me, I don't know, in that time $15, and then $30, then $50, then you know what I'm saying. It just got more and more and more. And we start getting a little recognition, you know, in the comic book world, because a lot of writers, I used to send them to everybody. And that's how it hasn't changed much. Nowadays, you can do the same, but you can do it on, you can send them a PDF instead of wasting your comic books, right? Because that's a lot of money.
Right.
But once in a while, I do send them the copies. Like ETA, I used to send them to many publishers. Just to get another job, you know.
Yeah, the full copy of the comic over to the company.
Exactly.
But yeah, I can see, and you got to pay postage when you do that. So
that's right. It's a little investment. It's a little investment. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're serious about it, right? I mean, it's not you're kind of investing in yourself. But would you say you submitted, like, over the years, like tons and tons of stuff, like just to different places?
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because, like, you know, I tell people it's like it's not going to be enough, especially for, like, if you're just, like you said, like when they were saying to you, well, you don't have anything published, or, you know, what are you doing, like, as far as, like, with your work, if you know, what do you have out there? And a lot of new artists think that they just gonna submit to like maybe 4 or 5 of the big companies, and then they don't hear anything back, and they think that, oh, well, that's it, I guess I'm done. And it's like, no, you're gonna have to, you know what I mean? Like you gotta keep submitting, like you gotta you never stop, you know.
You have to be so persistent. Like I said, some people used to tell me, like, do not send me any more. Like, we already found that artist, and we were going to keep you on file, but do not send me anymore. And I was, okay, and once in a while, I did used to send them my emails, right? But, it's gotta be constant thing. Like, I used to, every single day, like, go different companies. At that time, it used to be like, I don't know, thousands, like, probably, I don't know, thousands of small companies, medium-sized companies. And there is no point in me sending to Marvel or DC at that time. Obviously, I'm not in that league yet at that time. So I used to send them to medium-sized companies, small indies, and they used to just hire me. And that's how you got to be very persistent, yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, that's, I'm glad you said that too. It's, I guess that's what people call self-awareness, and for artists to know where you're at as far as like, your experience and like what level you're on. Like you said, if you're just getting started, are you ready to work for Marvel? Really? You know, are you ready to do, you know, people, you know, they want to go to these big companies, but there's a ton of small, companies out there that might want to hire you, and it's a way to get more experience, so that if you do have dreams of doing for one of the bigger companies, then you can get that experience versus just just getting started out, and maybe you're not ready for those big companies, and knowing that, you know, and knowing that you're not ready. Like, I think that's important for artists too.
This is the problem a lot of artists they face, because they send their stuff to, they think they're ready. They think, but they're not. And they send their stuff to Marvel. Marvel, let's say they give them a chance. And they cannot complete the deadlines because it's a really, really tough job to do. You got to work like, I don't know, 10 to 12 hours every day just to meet deadlines. And then if they don't do that, Marvel, they're just going to stop giving them work. And that's the problem, that they were not ready. They don't know what a deadline is, like a real deadline.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have, 2 months to do an indie, but it's just like, you got to be ready. Not only that, Marvel, they used to just, most of my friends, a bunch of my friends, they're hired by Marvel and DC, and they don't pay you like immediately. They don't pay you up front. They pay you when you finish. So you have a month. You got to work a month, like up front. And then without money. And then the check might be late. And then, so that is what you're ready. When you're ready, when you're a professional, means that you can work a month without a payment. And then that's what is called being a professional. Not only just draw like really nice figures, it's just being prepared on every single stage of the process, you know? Like, for example, if you have a CD to do, it's going to take you double the time. And then you're not ready because you're not planning for that thing.
Yeah.
So you got to be really, really prepared for those things.
And what would you say, like, as far as like just like when you were getting started, or even now, like what were some of your favorite comics or just favorite arts or projects that really like stuck to you? I know you mentioned one earlier, but like what would you say like were the main things that really inspire you, or even today that kind of that you look at and you're like, you know, they're some of your favorite things?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mentioned X-Men #1, 1 through 12. That's the best run I ever read. Well, not read. Yeah. It was the art that caught me. So it was the images. That one was my favorite for the long time. It's still my favorite. But then Alex Rose, that was another cover artist. He did a full graphic novels like Kingdom Come. He did Marvels. And that's what inspired me so much. I mean, obviously, I don't want to be like him. It's just like inspired me. It's like that's an amazing work. And also an artist, Travis Charest. Whatever he does is your goal for me. He's a Canadian artist, I think. He did Wildcat Volume #2, and that's another like my favorite comics all time. What else? Barry Windsor Smith. I like everything he does. And I still follow Jim Lee. Like whatever he does, I buy. That's it. I think that's
yeah. I mean, those are good. Those are all. I mean, those are really good things. And of course, Jim Lee is. I mean, he's the legend, right, of the industry.
Of course,
sure. And then I guess another question I have for you is as far as like I see like nowadays a lot of people are doing a lot of their artwork just completely digital. And they're not going onto the whiteboard. They're not doing the traditional pencils and inks. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a great tool to help you with the load that you have, because you can finish a page like in half of the time. It's just it's more simpler. Like I don't know if you remember that I started ETA like in actual pages, like hand drawing. And then my wife gave me a tablet, like as a gift, and that's when I switch. And this is so much better. Like not only you have more tools at your disposal when it's digital. It's faster and it looks better, more crispier. I think it's a great thing. I don't have any problem with it. I'm not a snob that only use pencil and ink. No, I use it all the time. I use both. I still sometimes I do covers on paper, or I do like short stories on paper, so I can sell them too. That's another thing that I can add to my incomes, is selling the originals.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm not opposed to digital at all. It's very helpful.
Yeah, that's what they say. That like for digital, I know we have one series that everything. I mean, it's all digital, and so it's like there's the give and take, because there's definitely that. For efficiency, and especially even for I'm sure you find for like corrections and things, it's so much easier on digital, right? If you need something changed, even for me, it's like if I see something and I need it, and I want to tell you to change it or tell an artist to change it, if it's digital, they can do it a lot quicker. It's not, it's a lot more, it's a lot more efficient. But at the same time, I still appreciate the work on the light board, and just, on the stocks, on the card, and just the inks as well. And I think for each artist, it's like you said, it's not about, you don't want to be a snob about saying, oh, I don't do digital, because you might find that you can do a lot more work digital. And you might find that you actually have intuition or affinity for digital, and your stuff could maybe sometimes even look better on digital. So for people that knock digital, I wouldn't knock it, because I think there's a lot of comics out there that people are reading that they probably don't even know it was done completely digitally as well.
Right. Yeah, for sure. There's also the new artists. They don't have that they don't know how to transfer. Like they only have work digitally, and it's more easy. Like you can get the references. It's like I told you, when in the 2000s, I used to just go to the library and get a reference from books. I used to go to the internet there and print the papers that I used to use as a reference. Obviously, nowadays we have the internet and everything is so fast, and I can just transfer an image that I'm going to draw to the actual to my page, and just basically trace it. So I guess that's also the down, why people are sticklers to art. Is it real art if you're tracing it, or is it just or it's cheating? I don't know. I don't have any problem.
Yeah, but technically, right, people would do the same on the light board too, right?
That's correct.
You would just overlay it on your light board and basically do the same thing. So I don't know, you can do it either way. But I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that. I know, just for a lot of artists out there starting, I think, like you said, most nowadays, especially the younger kids I see in their teens and in their early 20s. They're all digital. They started on digital, and they've never even touched a light board. I was talking to one kid at a convention, and he was like, "What's a light board?" I was like, "Oh boy, man, you should probably figure that out. At least educate yourself and try to even try it out, so you can see how your art looks that way as well." Because certain companies will want that if they have aspirations to, get up to one of the top tier levels.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the struggle was real. Just doing getting all these images. I used to get magazines and like every month, like guns magazines, car magazines, and I have stacks of that as a reference, using, never praise. Well, sometimes I did, but trying to put my own style in it, because I don't really like tracing stuff, and that's what I like ETA, because it's hard to find. There's really not like samurai stuff that you can research. I mean, there's some movies, but obviously you can't do that. But really, there's not much material for samurais.
No, definitely not with not in comics, for sure. It's limited, and especially with a more I guess I'd say a Western aesthetic versus something like that was coming out of Japan or something.
Right.
But they as far as like I guess the other thing I want to ask you, because I think I and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember I think I put a post up on Pistol Jack, and I think that's where I found you and you responded. But I was going to say, where do you look for work now when you're are you getting references? Do you go online? Like what different ways do you look for work as a indie artist?
You're right. Actually, the Pencil Jack. There used to be 2 or 3 actually. The Pencil Jack and the Digital Webbing. There used to be another one. I can't remember, but those are the main 3 like places that you can post jobs and you can get jobs. And I remember that. Nowadays it's so easy because Facebook has so many groups that you can just apply. The people just go there and I need an artist, so I apply for it. And I send them my resume. I send them links and samples, and we can discuss really fast how we're gonna work, how much I'm gonna get paid. Really fast. Definitely improvement. Really from my desk, basically. Just I don't have to move.
Yeah. That's I guess that's the difference between now and say 15, 16 years ago, right? Is that you can just go online and you can have your whole portfolio online and have all these groups and forums and stuff where people are looking for artists or looking for writers or whatever the case may be, and you can just kind of submit your stuff to them. Yeah,
and there's many groups, and I'm always connected to those. I look for them every. I mean, they send me the. I don't even have to look for them. The post coming to my notification. And so I don't even have to look. Imagine that. They just say, "Oh, he just posted this in this group." Okay. Then I check, and then if I think I'm good fit for that, I just send them my stuff like immediately.
Yeah.
And I gotta understand because right now the thing is that we're competing with the whole world. Like artists, they look for the same post, and then they apply the same way that I do. So I'm competing with a lot of people from different parts of the world. It has become a little more challenging.
So that's one of the things, because even if I'm sending something out and I'm looking for artists, I'm going to get things from not just United States, Canada, Mexico. I'm gonna get people in Brazil and Italy and Argentina, and it's crazy. Like the different places, people will send stuff that I'll never even have heard of the country before, and it's quality, and it's quality work too. So I guess that's might be one of the downsides to that, is that it's a lot of competition out there, if you will.
For sure.
Which is also why, like you said earlier, I think it pays for artists to be diligent and to look a lot and submit a lot. versus just, submitting a couple times. And if you don't get hired or you don't hear back, just saying, oh, well, I guess it's just too hard. Like you got to keep at it.
Yeah, for sure. If you notice in comic books, like in a comic book store, when you go, all the names have changed too, like in the titles. Like it's no longer like an American artist. Nowadays, like you mentioned, it's like Brazilians, all the names that you, like even from Russia, from everywhere. Like they're working for big companies. Because at that time, when 10 years ago, they didn't have the chance to apply, because the only way you can get a job is going to a convention in the United States. But they have changed that now. Marvel or DC, they just have a submission page or so they still do that, like in conventions. But Marvel, they have basically an email that you can just send them. And I haven't tried that actually, by the way. I did it once when I was like in '99, and I think I like to tell my own stories better. Yeah, like I said, I was just there's no I only apply for. I mean, right now I'm doing my own stories. That's what I like. I like to tell my own stories, and I'm gonna publish my own books, and that's what I want to do right now. I'm not gonna. I don't want to apply for Marvel or DC, telling someone else's story. I think I want to do my own.
There's a lot more freedom with telling your own stories. And you recently just finished a Kickstarter. What was that experience like, running a Kickstarter? Because I think people want to do Kickstarters, and there's a lot of work that goes into that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Like, with setting up a Kickstarter.
It's so stressing to do one of those. It's a lot of work. You gotta do you gotta do video, you gotta do the content, you gotta do tons of stuff that takes you away from whatever you're doing, your art, whatever. And then sending your books to the printers, and right now it's so difficult because of COVID.
Right.
They don't have all the people they used to have. Now they're limited, and it's more hard to get them, because there's a line. You get into a line of other books. They have to go first before you, and then it is challenging for sure.
Yeah, and that's actually a problem that even the big publishers are facing with printers, like the larger publishers right now because of COVID. So, but yeah, that's I just wanted to touch on that, because I think a lot of people want to run a Kickstarter, but they don't necessarily understand the time that it goes into that, especially if you're looking to get it fulfilled and actually hit your goal.
Yeah, and also a lot of people don't understand that some new ones, actually. I've seen it all the time. And I give them a lot of advice, like, hey, don't go for this huge amount of money, because you're an unknown people. They see these $200,000 like campaigns, and that's great, but those are for known people, for people who've been in the industry for 20, 30 years, and they work for Marvel, DC. But it's not going to happen the same. You need to have a fan base first, and then just do something like small first, just to test the waters, you know? Advice will be that, like just something small, and then get a fan base, a fan page, collect a lot of emails. That's more important too, like because you can send them your stuff, your links and whatever. You gotta work a lot on that.
And then I guess as far as anything, I guess, do you have any like advice for any artists that are just getting started, or even artists that are kind of working indie but might be having trouble finding work or things like that? Just any advice as far as they can do to get more work or to find work, things like that?
Yeah, of course. I'll say be ready first. I keep telling everybody, like, this is not an easy job to have, because there's so much sacrifice that you do. You sacrifice time away from your family, your friends. You got to finish deadlines. Sometimes you can't party. It's a lot of sacrifice. Second, be consistent. Be ready to work to promote yourself. Know how to do marketing. Knowing all these things that normally an artist doesn't do, but you have to do it. You gotta just know the market, know the playing field, so you can. For example, the Kickstarter that I was talking about. If you don't know, why would you do one? It's like you have to know first and then do one. But you need a fan base.
Yeah.
If not, you're gonna get to zero. I mean, you can get like 100, maybe 200, whatever, but that's not your goal. Your goal is to make more money than just to print more books and get them into their hands. And just be persistent. Always. If you don't give up. If someone tells you no, they won't hire you, just try somewhere else. Do your own. Have always your own projects on the back burner. Always. Because when you're not working on let's say on anthologies, you can do your own anthology, or you can do your own books, your own stories. Always a network. That was number one, actually, for me. I used to go to conventions and network, meet people, so many people. At conventions, I used to get like so many jobs just by being in the right place in the right time. I was just like handing my comic books, like my fanzines, or I used to do ashcan, and I just give them away. And it's like, okay, well, can I hire you? Like, how much you charge? Like, I was doing deals right there in the convention. But you never know where you're going to find it. You never know where you can find the opportunity. And I know a lot of people get signed at conventions because they're just in the right place at the right time. I mean, that's luck too. Luck counts a lot in this business. So yeah, conventions, meet people, networking, be ready, be persistent, and good luck. That's what you need.
Man,
sometimes your personality counts too. Like I get hired because I'm just talking. Like I was talking in a convention, and I was just screaming from one side to another, trying to sell my book.
Right.
And I attract up people. It's like, hey, come here and check my book. And those people hire me.
Yeah, I think the artist Jim Zub, he said something like that as well. He said when he was first getting started, he was talking to somebody at Marvel, and they were like, well, you know, and he said something to the person along the lines of, well, you know, I don't really talk a lot, and I'm not good at networking. And he said that Marvel just told him, get good at it. Even if you just want to do art, you still got to be able to engage people to find the work. You have to, you know, even if it's work for you to be kind of a person who's outspoken, you should definitely work on that, because that's going to help you get the work.
Oh, definitely. That's 100% like true. I used to be like a shy guy. Like I used to just not go out because I'm working all the time. But then at conventions, they told me, like, you gotta become another person. You gotta sell. You become a salesman. So you're selling your book. You're selling your image. So like I told you, I prepare myself. I start talking and know how to sell a book, know your pitch, know your, you gotta be ready because you don't know when the opportunity is gonna hit. So if you're not ready, you're never gonna get it.
Yeah, and then I think that's, like I said, that comes back to, I guess we talked a lot about kind of persistence and not giving up and basically just working hard. That's like the theme of everything we've been talking about since we started. So definitely good advice for any artists out there who are listening. But I think that's about all I have for you today, Ozzy. Is there anything else you want to say or mention before anything you want to plug? You got any projects coming up that you want to let people know about? Or anything other than that?
Yeah, I have book number 6 of ETA.
yeah. They're gonna know about that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm working on that. I'm working on a comic book it was a movie adaptation. Actually, I'm working on a movie adaptation of the movie. It's called The Sword and the Sorcerer. It came out in '96. So I'm doing they're trying to revive that. So I'm doing that adaptation. Also, I did a cover for another movie. It's called Mean Streets. They're doing an anthology. It's also a movie from the '90s. From the same director, so they hired me to do the cover.
To do two both things.
Yeah, I'm working on Doomsday TV number 7. Yeah, it's. I've been working in that. That's been in my back burner for 5 years.
And is there a website or anything that people can come check you out or like get updates from you on?
You can go to Facebook and find the webpage. Doomsday TV. Just type it on your Facebook. Also, you can find me and just by Googling. Actually, all my accounts are the same name, Ozzy Longoria. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that's it. I guess that's all I'm working right now. Oh, actually, I have another project too. It might come out. I might do another Kickstarter. It's called the Project Noah's Ark. It's a sci-fi book about the kind of like the next step on the human evolution. It's I had that book for like 15 years and I haven't finished it. It's 6 issues. So you might see a little change in my style from one book to
the next.
Yeah, and that's it. Those are the projects that I'm always doing.
All right. Then make sure you guys check out what Ozzy has. Especially if you like the artwork that on ETA, then you're definitely gonna like all the other stuff he's done as well. So check out all those sources that he just gave you guys for his artwork. And then anything else you want to add before we close it out here?
No, I just want to thank you for inviting me to this podcast. And
oh no, thank you for joining us. As we try to get this podcast up and going, it's growing slowly, and so we've got we're really excited that you're able to do this interview for us.
Yeah, of course. Anytime you need, just send me give me a call and we'll do it.
Till next time, it's just me, but Ray and Newman will be on for next week's as well. But until next time, I'll see you guys.